Okay, welcome back to this Degen challenge where I'm trying to 10x this wallet by trading meme coins and doing other types of Degen activities. So let's get a quick overview on where we're at so far. Currently in the Solana portion of the wallet, we're sitting at about 4250, and on base we've got about 1737. So in total, that means that the portfolio is slightly less than 6K, which means that we're actually up 20% from the starting point. And if we compare that to, for example, if we had just taken that 5K and put it into Bitcoin when I started this challenge, Bitcoin is only up 5.42% in the same time period. So we're actually outperforming a buy and hold Bitcoin strategy by about 15%, which honestly is not too bad given the state of the market over the past few months. So let's do a quick recap of where things are at. We've got by far the largest position in this portfolio. Over 50% of the total amount by now is Fartcoin. This one, honestly, if I just allocated the entire portfolio at the beginning, probably would have been nearly at our goal by now, but can't complain with the results that we've seen there. Now, I also have a position in the Jupe token, which is underperforming. And then we have that AI cult meme coin, Nothing. And then finally, the DYOR token, which is another meme coin on Solana. So that rounds out the Solana portion of this wallet. And I haven't actually made any changes in this, really just holding Fartcoin and indexing to Fartcoin at this point has been the winning strategy so far in these market conditions. Now, if we move over to base, you'll recall that I had some Arrow tokens. This one is just slightly down from the position that we had at the beginning, and I'm sitting on still 500 USDC, waiting to deploy that. Now, I did make one additional purchase with this wallet since my last video. This was yesterday or the day before, and I bought $250 of the FAI or the Fraser AI token. And in a couple of minutes, I'm gonna break down why I did that. But for starters, let's take a look at some of the older positions that we built in the portfolio. So for example, Arrow, it has come down from where we initially entered. However, base season appears to be returning, and this token is going to perform well as trading volumes go up on the base L2. And so I think that realistically, this token is completely tied to the success of the base L2. And I do actually think that base is going to be one of the winning L2s, if not potentially the main one. We'll see what happens with that. But either way, I still have some strong conviction in this token moving forward. It actually has solid fundamentals, and that's kind of the opposite of some of the other tokens in this portfolio, like Fartcoin, for example, which literally is just a meme. However, hot air rises, and this is outperforming basically everything else that I have purchased. I actually managed to pick up some of this in the 20 to 30 cent range, and obviously that has been a major W so far. Another token I have in the portfolio is Jupe. This one I'm not actually married to long term, and I would potentially consider cutting it if we get a solid exit on it. I think that long term it's probably going to do well. However, it might be a little bit of a laggard in this portfolio, and since we're trying to hit kind of a 10x from the starting point, I'm not sure if having more capital allocated to this is going to be the winning play. It has some decent fundamentals, but also some more competition, let's say, as the DEX wars heat up on Solana. So we'll see what happens with this. For now, still holding. Then when it comes to the other two meme coins, DYOR, I have such a small amount allocated to, and I think that it has some serious dark horse potential. This one could easily pump at any day 10x, I think. So I'm just going to hold and see what happens with that. And then finally, with the Nothing token, similar kind of story. This one is just down bigly from all-time highs. But as I outlined in the video where I purchased this coin, the team behind it is seriously legit, and they're connected to some major players. And I could easily see a world where this ends up just absolutely mooning if we get some announcements about what is going on over there. So for now, holding all these positions. Now let's talk about Fraser AI, the new token that I added to the portfolio. I actually got a little bit lucky because I picked it up right down here about 0.016, and then basically the day after it jumped up 1 cent. So I'm up pretty big on the position overall right now. If you've never heard of Fraser, it's an AI agent platform on base. It's actually the 5th largest AI agent project by market cap so far. It's super legit. They've been building kind of quietly for a while now. They launched the token back in November. The team behind it is actually incredible. There's a solid thread here that actually outlines all of the different people that are invested in this. So for example, one of the main contributing founders to this is Eric Connor, who's an Ethereum OG, but then we've also got some serious backers that include people like Justin Bram. We've also got Arthur Hayes connected to this, potentially Kobe and Echo, and then a bunch of different VCs and market maker players as well. So huge team behind it. The tech, as far as I can tell, since I'm not a very technical person, is legit. I actually participated in Act 4 of their little games that they had where you created your own AI agent, and I found it to be super immersive and interesting. You can actually check it out right here and create your own digital twin and chat with it if you want. So realistically, I feel like this is kind of a dark horse in the AI space. It has been lagging, the overall AI market recently. Things like virtual started pumping again. Of course, we've got Farcoin. But this, I feel like since the tech behind it is so legit, the team behind it is legit, and the token was kind of lagging, it looked like it was due for a little bit of a pump. And we kind of caught it at the absolute bottom. So I'm very interested to see what happens with this one. I'm going to hold it for a little while. So just 250 allocation to this. Right now, the value of that is 325, so not bad for a day's work. But yeah, this is the newest addition to the portfolio. Now, moving forward, I'm thinking of also actually starting to trade a little bit of perps on Avantis with the 500 USDC that we've got left. Probably won't use all of it, but maybe 250 or so, and experiment with making a few trades and then look for one final position to add to the portfolio and round it out. At this point, patience has actually been key. I could have capitulated and sold everything at the bottom, but since I was kind of quiet for a little while and just held on to the positions, we're actually outperforming Bitcoin and we're outperforming, the S&P 500 and all kinds of other indexes right now with this super degen strategy. Then if I see a very solid opportunity, I will certainly consider pivoting and selling some of my underperformers because I want to make sure that I'm allocating the capital in this portfolio to the most productive use that I can. So that is the update on the Degen challenge. Still going on, even though I didn't post a video for a while. It's actually going pretty well, and I'll try to bring more regular updates from now on. Thanks for watching and have a great day.